Hey everyone, I'm Oliver Kovács, a Hungarian composer. This video lesson will cover how to create a full orchestral piece from a simple piano sketch. I've prepared two versions to show how orchestration can affect the mood of a piece. It'll be super exciting, so stay tuned. It's a very simple melody with both regular triads and seventh chords. I consciously use seventh chords because sometimes it's tricky to create orchestral voices from them. A good solution is to include both the seventh and the root in the orchestral parts from the chord. If you leave out one of these notes, it'll become just a regular triad. Let's take a look at the melody and the chord progression. It's crucial to choose the proper key signature based on the main instrument you've selected. Of course, every instrument has its pitch range, and it's a practical approach to select a key signature that suits the range of your main instrument. Some instruments, especially woodwinds and brass, struggle close to their range limitations. For brass and woodwinds, choose a key signature that places the melody a fourth or a fifth away from their range limitations. There are two reasons for this. On one hand, many instruments struggles and sound unpleasant when playing close to its limitations, and on the other hand, your instrumentalist might not be able to play these notes if they are an intermediate or beginner musician. My first solution is in G minor with the oboe as the main instrument. The oboe can play between B flat 3 and G6. The highest note in the melody is B flat 5 and the lowest is D4. The second orchestration is in E minor with a B flat trumpet as the main instrument. Its range is from E3 to C6. The highest note in the piece for the trumpet is G5 and the lowest is B3. It's important to note that the octave number in your piano roll are not in the standard scientific pitch notation. You should add 1 to the MIDI octave number to get the SPN octave. It's also crucial to understand that some instruments do not sound as written. For example, the B flat trumpet plays a whole step lower than written. So if you see a D in the trumpet sheet music, it's actually a C. These type of instruments are called transposing instruments, and of course there are non-transposing instruments that sound as written. I'd like to present two cases where I incorporated seventh chords and how I solved this orchestration challenge. The first one is a half-diminished seventh chord. As you can see, the instrument play broken chords, and this specific chord is an A half-diminished. The oboe plays the seventh, and one of the clarinets play the root note. In the other case, the chord is a D dominant seventh. I also included both the seventh, which is a C, and the root, which is a D. Without the seventh, it would be a regular D major chord, and without the root note, it would be an F sharp diminished chord. That's why you need to include both. In the string section, the first violins play together with the oboe, creating a beautiful, soft, and emotional orchestral doubling. The second violins accompany the main melody, while the violas play harmonies below the first and second violins. I should mention that the oboe is hardly loud enough to compete with the entire orchestra, so the strings can help. The cellos and double basses provide bass notes in octave doubling. They mostly use pizzicato articulation, but at the end of the piece they switch to legato. Let's listen to the string section. As I mentioned earlier, the main melody is for the oboe. The other oboe accompanies the main melody, while one of the clarinets join the second oboe. The other clarinet and the bassoon follow the viola voices, creating an interesting orchestral doubling with the clarinet, a bassoon, and the violas. Let's listen to the woodwind section. I have to mention that in the case of the second orchestration, the chord progression is slightly different. The first and the second violins play above the main melody in legato. The cellos and double basses use legato articulation and, of course, provide bass notes. The violas follow the main melody, mostly a third or a fourth apart. Let's listen to the string section. The trumpets play the main melody with the clarinet. The clarinet softens the trumpet's harsh sound and creates a unique orchestral doubling. It's ideal for an emotional piece. The clarinet sounds a whole step lower than written, just like the B-flat trumpet. The French horns and tenor trombones play intervals below the main melody and the viola accompaniment. Let's listen to the brass section. If you found this video lesson interesting and helpful, you can support me by hitting the like button, leaving a comment, subscribing, or even buying me a coffee. Thanks for watching.